feel like people don't know about the great deals you can get from TEMU, and that's just really sad. So in this episode, we're going to be looking at some of the things that you can get from TEMU. TEMU sent me a bunch of these things for free to try out, so I'll have a look and tell you what I think about them. So I got a nice little haul of items here to try out. Let's get into it. So the first one I want to look at is this thing here, which is a toy car garage. And the reason I was curious about this is I wanted to see if it would be suitable to make into some sort of science fiction structure. So as with most things from TEMU, it comes in a very informal package. Just a clear plastic bag. Let's see. We've got a sheet of stickers here. Again, pretty wrinkled on account of the way these things are packaged. Probably be fine if I stuck it under a pile of books, but it'd be nice if it could come intact, you know? So there's some sprues of little signs and greebles. These are actually some of the earliest greebles that I used on this channel, is this exact sort of thing. Now, obviously, it's really nice to have a bits box full of this sort of thing, but I will say this type of plastic is not the best at holding paint. So it's kind of, it's a challenge in of itself, but par for the course sometimes. So we have a whole bunch of these black base pieces. Some of these car ramps. These are the part I'm least likely to use because I'm planning to play miniature games with this rather than playing with cars. So there's a bunch of these silver parts, and this is what drew me to the kit, is these are really cool looking little pieces with rivet detail on them. Okay, so there's basically your basic module put together. I will say this is another thing that I've noticed consistently from TEMU is it's very difficult sometimes to gauge the scale of the items that you're buying, and they almost always tend towards being smaller than you would expect. They do include measurements a lot of the time, so pay close attention to the measurements because it's not uncommon for the listings to have something like a hand that's out of scale with the miniature. So it would be like, you know, the hand would be here and the miniature would be there, and you'd be like, oh, that thing's huge. And then you get it and it's like, what the heck? You know, so pay attention to that. So these orange bits, they connect together using one of these little pieces. What I like to use these for is I'll put a little bit of mesh or something on the top, and then it just adds a little bit of thickness and detail to like a little walkway. You could build a couple of these towers, connect them together with walkways, and get yourself a decent little terrain set right off the bat. And for the price, decent. To be honest, it's kind of at the higher end of where I would consider it to be a really good deal for this sort of thing. So the good news is there is a promotion going on right now where you can get a $20 coupon if you scan the QR code and use my code. That will be on screen right here and here, or maybe here and here, depending on how I'm feeling when I edit it. But yeah, if you use that coupon code, you can also just follow the link in the description box. You'll get $20 off across all product categories, no strings attached. And so, you know, that'll get you on your way. Check it out. Okay, up next we have another miniature car garage that I was attracted to for the same reason. Let's have a look. Okay, excellent. This is a quite simpler one. It's consists of parts like this that the car can drive up onto, and then the side pieces, which are these sort of X-shaped brackets, and they go in like this. This, as you can see, is a very cool looking sci-fi shape. I'm thinking you could do a bunch of them in a row with sort of a bridge on the top, or what I was thinking is you can take these individual panels and glue them to the side of your existing scratch buildings and add a ton of sort of futuristic detail. Like you can make some infinity style buildings or something for Necromunda with these. Again, a very simple package and no instructions, and you don't need instructions. It's very simple. Yeah, I like this. This is exactly what I was expecting it was. These are going to be very nice to have in the bits box. Happy with this. Next up, let's have a look at some of these miniature artificial trees that I ordered. And I can tell just by looking at the bags already that these is going to be messy. So let's put down a surface so it doesn't get all in here. Let's start with these little pine trees. Oh yeah, look at that. That is a lot of dust. A lot of dust. Okay, so in one bag, we get 20 of these little trees. And as you can see, a huge amount of the green stuff has fallen off them. Some of them are bent, and some of them look better than others. Some are quite squished. This one here, almost all of the stuff is off them, which actually, you know, kind of looks like pretty realistic. You see trees in a forest like this. I don't love it, to be honest. I don't love it. First of all, it's quite shiny. They don't really repose very well because they have a lot of rebound to them. Now the appeal of these little trees is that they're quite inexpensive. So you get 20 of them for pretty cheap. You can make little forests pretty quickly. You put a bunch of them on a little base, and then you make a couple bases of them, and a cluster of those bases would be a nice little forest. I would mix in some other styles of trees and even maybe give these a touch of paint, maybe a touch of spray on adhesive, and then some flock to sort of improve the appearance of them. Maybe even some matte varnish would help to knock back some of the plasticky shine that's going on here. So I did also get this larger tree. You can see how squished it showed up. Not particularly impressed with that. Let's get it out of the bag and have a look. Okay, so it has a wire armature, which is different than the other trees, which had plastic armatures. I do think wire armatures are superior. They're posable. They don't bounce back into whatever default position that looks pretty artificial. Like, you have a lot of control to make them look pretty nice. I would put some texture stuff on the trunk to make it look a little bit more like bark. But overall, this is a perfectly nice tree that has its place in any miniature forest. Hell yeah. I've also got these trees, and they're all tangled together here, so let me see if I can extricate them. Okay. That's kind of a nice looking tree. This is nice because these trees look like they could exist in a jungle environment or a deciduous environment. So that's quite a versatile tree. I like that. And yeah, not bad. So next up, we have one that I've been excited about, which is these acrylic paint markers. Now, what I wanted here was something opaque rather than the typical transparent ink that markers usually have. And the reason why is because I want an easy way to do graffiti on my terrain pieces. Let's try them out. Can't immediately tell the difference between the two ends of it. I have this piece of Necromunda terrain that I made a while back. Try some graffiti on here and see how it looks. The thing about gang graffiti is real life gangs, their graffiti looks just like scribbles. And it's the talented graffiti artists who are the ones who have cool looking graffiti. And there's maybe some overlap with street gangs, but there's maybe a misconception about that. So don't judge me here for this test. Now, what I did looks pretty terrible, but the marker is good. Now let me see if this tip is fine enough to do some little drips. The fine tip of the pen lets you get those drips, and that's pretty sweet. Also, I realized this is not the same color on both ends. One side is a paler yellow than the other, which is more readily apparent on the other pens. You can see quite clearly there's like an orange and a red and two different greens. So that's cool. So you actually get, and if I'd read the package, 24 pack, 48 colors. Now it makes sense. And here's another one I've done. I went for a little two-tone. As you can see, I am not a talented graffito. If anyone has any resources that are good for learning this sort of thing, let me know. I'm just trying to make it look reasonably authentic. And obviously, I think you need quite a lot more overlap for it to look proper. The fine tips on the markers allowing you to do the drips looks really good. I think I might have overdone it with drips over here, but I think it looks really good. Next up, we have some more markers to try. This time, chrome markers. Ooh. Pretty good. I'm gonna try doing the trim on a Space Marine. I'm actually quite impressed. Huh. Who knew? Next up, we have some train bridges that I wanted to check out. Let's have a gander. Okay, simple, one-piece train bridge. Kind of exactly what I wanted. And this is going to be a perfect footbridge for Necromunda. Exactly what I wanted it for. For what it is, this is a 9 out of 10. Hell yeah. We have a second train bridge. Yeah, like that. There we go. So I'm gonna put a piece of sculptor's mesh across the center so that there's a solid surface to walk across. Again, the scale is exactly what I want for a science fiction pedestrian footbridge. Again, I'll give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Two nice little bridges, perfect for your skirmish games. Next up, we have a selection of brushes to try. First up, the red brushes. As cheap brushes go, these were totally fine. I used them. Not bad. Next up, the yellow brushes. Some of these are a little bit frayed out of the box, but I was able to get a point on them and they were okay. The red ones seem to have a better tip though. Next up, the dry brushes. These ones were okay. As soon as I started putting paint on them, some extra hairs started falling out the top, but I was still able to get a decent result with them. The black brushes were maybe my favorite of the bunch. They seemed to have nicer tips, and I had a good time painting some details with them. So overall, I'm not overly impressed with the brushes. They're decent. You kind of get what you pay for. If you go through a lot of brushes like me and you need them for applying glue, terrain projects like that, these are totally good, totally fine for that. If you really want a very high-end brush, this is probably not for you. So next up is one I've been very excited about. This little portable airbrush thing. Let's have a look. So basically the portable charging compressor goes on down here and then you can airbrush on the go. What is it? It comes charged. I was thinking I was gonna have to cut and charge. Okay, I'll probably have to cut and charge it because it seems so crapped out already. But it's working. I can feel it working. I'm actually very stoked for this. Hang on a second, guys. I'm gonna charge it up and we'll give it a go. Well, color me surprised. It actually works pretty well. I don't know what I thought. I thought maybe it just wouldn't work at all. It seems too good to be true. Wireless airbrushing in big 2026. Yeah, I guess it's real. But this might actually be handy for when I'm painting my Titan, if I got to get in some awkward areas, because as we know, airbrush cords are kind of unwieldy, and yeah, so definitely a niche use for this, but it does work. It does work. I definitely wouldn't go so far as to say get this instead of a real airbrush, but it is a fun little thing, and I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Hell yeah. So there you have it. That's my latest round of stuff from TEMU. Thank you, TEMU, for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to get your $20 off, make sure you use the QR code or the link in the description and use my code, which I'll show on the screen here. So I think there's plenty of things on here that any hobbyist could use. And yeah, if you guys are interested, check it out. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time on Eric's Hobby Workshop.